Hello students, hope you are doing great. I am Revant Siddhaya, your chemistry educator only at KLM Institute. Today's topic under chemistry will be carbon and its compounds. So, where is carbon present as an element or an alloy in our nature? We'll see in our ancient days, the major source of fuel was charcoal, and carbon is present in charcoal. And our major source of food, which is sugar or any plant sugar such as sucrose and animal sugar such as lactose, anything it can be, there is carbon present in it. Also, our modern day fuel also has carbon in it, such as petrol, diesel, all these things have carbon in it. And the clothes, beautiful clothes which you wear, all these clothes contain carbon in them. What about the human body, students? Our human body is made approximately around 18%, 18.5% is made up of carbon. So, is that why we are studying carbon? Not at all. Carbon is wonderful element. Let's see in the following slides how it is so wonderful and what makes it so wonderful. So first, let us locate the carbon element in the periodic table. So whenever we are studying a particular element, we need to know everything about it. What is its atomic number, atomic mass, electronic configuration, and so on.
Register today at KLM Institute for free online classes, revisions, doubt clearance, private online and offline classes, Olympiad exams, and win prizes, scholarships, and much more.
So we can see here, carbon is here. It is in the black format, you can see. Its atomic number is 6, students. So its electron configuration. In the last chapter, we have studied how to write electronic configuration. So you already know we have K, L, M, N, 4 shells, and in K shell the capacity is just 2. So we will fill 2. So we don't need to worry about the K shell. In the L shell, the capacity is 8. To obtain its octet configuration, it needs 8 electrons, but we only have 6 electrons in total. The remaining is 4. So all the 4 elements or electrons will sit in the L shell. Let us see in detail how this electronic configuration matters in an atom. So let us draw the first element, first electron. In the K shell, we have 2 electrons. Let's draw it here and here. In L shell, we have 4 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in L shell and K shell, which is the valence electron, students? Valence shell is the outermost electron. Here, whatever you can see, the outermost orbit or shell which is present, it is called the valence orbit or valence shell. So in valence shell, carbon has 4 electrons, and also it needs 4 electrons to complete its octet nature. So let us draw again how to understand the bonding in carbon. Let us draw the same figure again. We already know that we have 2 electrons in the K shell. Let's draw circles this time. And in L shell, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the last chapter, we studied about ionic bond. What is ionic bond, students? When an atom gives an electron or takes an electron, it forms a bonding between them, such as NaCl, Na plus and Cl minus forms together. Why is it minus and plus? Because it loses an electron and gains an electron respectively. Such as if you gain an electron, what happens? You get a minus charge. If you lose an electron, you get a plus charge, because electrons are negatively charged, students. So now carbon has to get octet structure. What is octet structure? That is, it should have either the configuration of the next noble gas or the previous noble gas. So in periodic table, if we see here, the previous noble gas is helium and the next noble gas is neon. So what does carbon has to do if it has to obtain or get to the octet structure? It has to either lose 4 electrons or gain 4 electrons. That is, if it loses 4 electrons, it becomes Cl4 C4 plus, and if it gains 4 electrons, it becomes C4 minus. So these both are not possible, students. And can you tell why?
Give your imagination wings. If you're willing to write something, what are you waiting for? Share your ideas and thoughts. Let your ideas reach out to millions. Get your articles published through our blogs for free.
Let's try adding 1 electron. Okay, we will imagine this as an electron which we are adding. We are taking it and adding to this orbit, that is the valence shell, and we are adding. Now C becomes C minus. Okay, and what happens? Our carbon atom is very small, students. You can see the size of the first few elements or the atoms are very small. So its atomic number is just 6. So it is a small atom. You can see it cannot withstand that amount of force. The nucleus cannot hold that amount of electron. It can hold probably one more electron, but it cannot hold all the 4 electrons. If you add all the 4 electrons here, what happens is it becomes highly unstable. It cannot exist in the nature anymore. Okay, then we cannot add more electrons. We will disregard C4. Sorry, we will disregard the concept of adding 4 electrons. That is, we explained why C4 minus is not possible. Now we will try removing electron. So we already know electrons are attracted by the nucleus. So I'll remove 1 electron, okay, and make the carbon atom C plus. Now the atom, already small atom, becomes smaller in size. These walls come nearer, so there will be repulsion between this shell and this shell. The electrons of these both shells start repelling because like charges repel, students. Okay, one you can remove with great difficulty. If you try removing one more electron, it collapses. It cannot exist in that state anymore. So both of these states cannot be existing. So how does the carbon make bonds? Can it make bond at all? We will see in the next slide. Before going to how carbon makes an bonding or how it bonds with other atoms, we will see something similar to carbon but a simpler molecule, such as hydrogen. It is the first element in our periodic table. You can see here It is the first element in our periodic table. What is the atomic number of hydrogen? It is 1, students. So that means it has one electron and one proton. You can see how the representation of hydrogen has been done here. There is one hydrogen molecule and another hydrogen molecule. So what happens is it has only one electron, but to attain the configuration or stable configuration of helium, it needs one more, but it cannot afford to give one, the only electron it has, it cannot afford to give it, or it cannot hold the power of two electrons. So what does it do? It shares the same electron. Okay, two atoms or two molecules of hydrogen come together to form the H2 molecule. That is, it shares one electron. So imagine you have a friend. Okay, there are two friends and you have a single book. Okay, you have a single book. What you decide, you cannot give the book completely to him because you will fail in exam. He cannot give you the book completely to you because he will fail in exam. You want the friendship to be going well. So what you decide, one day you keep the book, one day I will keep the book. So in that way, both can read and both can understand. This is known as covalent bond, students. The bond, a chemical bond in which pairs of electrons, okay, it always exists in pair, the sharing, because if you don't give, if you don't share, I don't share. It is that case. Pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms. The covalent bond is also called the molecular bond. So simple, isn't it? A covalent bond is a chemical bond in which pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms. So is the hydrogen only element which does this? Not at all. So oxygen has lot of lone pairs, 6 electrons it has empty in its valence shell. So it needs 4 electrons. It needs 2 more electrons to get the octet structure. You can see here in the dot format. Dots, this structure is called electron dot structure. The X represents one electron, one, 2 electrons, 2 electrons, and it also has 2 more electrons. You can see here. I will use a highlighter to show you the oxygen atoms. There are 2 oxygen atoms, 2 plus 2 plus 2, that is 6 pairs, 3 pairs of electrons, that is 6 electrons it has in the outermost cell. So it needs 2 more electrons, right? It cannot afford to give 2 electrons to another oxygen because the another oxygen is not ready to accept it. So what it does, it makes a deal. It forms a bond between one more oxygen atom, telling that we will share two, you send me 2 electrons, I will send you 2 electrons. We will share the 2 electrons, rest of the electrons we will keep it like that. So here you can see the shared pair of electrons. 2 pairs of electrons are shared. That is 4 electrons are shared here. When 2 pairs of electrons are shared, it forms a double bond. It is represented by 2 lines. In the similar way, nitrogen has 5 electrons. So to get 8 electrons in the outermost shell, what it has to do? It has to gain 3 more electrons. It cannot gain electrons because the structure is simply small. It cannot withstand such an electron rush. So what it does, it forms a bond with another nitrogen sharing 3 electrons. So the three pairs of electrons are shared. You can see in the diagram, the common electrons are three pairs. When three pairs of electrons are shared in a molecule, it is represented by three lines. It is known as triple bonds.